Hey, what's up everyone? It's your man DJ Roxy from Roxy Entertainment, Roxy Electronics and Repair, coming to you with another technical video on how to replace your RCA connectors on your S9 mixer. Now, if your S9 mixer is not getting any contact from your RCAs, maybe because it banned, or you just need to replace them because it got really banned or really bad, and you have no connection. So this video is to show you how to change the whole board. Now this video is more based on changing the board. You can change your RCA connectors itself from the board that's there already. It's going to require you to have some kind of technical experience in soldering, because you need to desolder those connectors and solder the new connectors. But in this case, we got the whole board. Now I got the board from Instrumental Parts, mpcstuff.com. You can check them out. I'm going to leave the link below where you can get these parts from. So we're gonna go about fixing this bad boy. So what you're gonna need a regular size screwdriver, a smaller Phillips screwdriver, and probably something like this, very small, pointy, just to get into these faders, to take these faders off. So I'm gonna change the angle so you can see better what we're doing.
Alright, so now let's begin with the procedure. Like I said, you're gonna need a small tool, pointy tool, so you can get to these clips right on the fader caps. You have 3 clips that need to be removed from these fader caps. This is for the left side channel, also for your cross fader. You have one that need to be removed as well. Once we come to this point, you could remove these caps. Sometimes it could be a little hard. Just put some force into it. These clips, you gotta be extra careful with these clips. You don't want to break these. Those hold the cross faders or the fader caps. Now you're gonna see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 screws that need to be removed. We want to go ahead and remove these screws. Alright, these caps need to be removed as well. Sometimes it could be a little hard. Just use some force and remove these caps. Now at this point, your faceplate is free to be removed. Now once we get to this point, you're gonna see 1, 2, 2 screws, 1, 2, 3 on each channel fader that need to be removed. Remove this tip from here so you can get to the wires, and these need to be removed as well. These are the stoppers for the cross faders. Just in case you don't know, these give you a different feel when you install these. So once we get to this point, just remove the screws. Like I said, you got one right there. These screws are smaller than the other one. The 2 screws on the side is smaller, so you want to be careful about where you put these screws. Then you have 3 screws that holds the the channel faders, so you want to go ahead and remove those 3 screws. Remove the channel fader, put that on the side on a safe place. Right underneath the channel faders, you're gonna see 1 screw that need to be removed too. Let's go ahead and remove the other, the left side channel fader. Like I said, it's 3 screws as well that hold this one. We're gonna go ahead and remove these 3 screws. Once you remove these 3 screws, it's free to be removed. Just unplug it and put it on the side, like I said. So like I said, this cross fader, you want to push that cross fader, plug that cross fader wire and put it on the side. Then you have 1 more screw. Like I said, these are smaller than the rest screws, so you have 2 screws that are very small that goes on the side. Now you're gonna see 1, 2 screws that right underneath the channel fader. You want to go ahead and remove those screws. So once we remove all the screws, the corresponding screws, we want to go ahead and remove the screws on the side. So you have 1, 2 screws. We want to go ahead and remove those screws. On the other side as well, 2 screws. Then you want to go ahead and turn the back of the mixer. In the back of the mixer, you're gonna see 3 screws that need to be removed. That holds the top part of the mixer. So you're gonna remove this one. We're gonna remove the one also in the middle. Now these screws are different from the screws that you take off from inside of the channel faders, so put these on a different side. Be careful about where you put your screws, so when you go back into putting everything back together, you know what screw go where. So at this point, like I said, these 3 screws need to be removed, and once you remove these 3 screws, the top is free to be removed. Now at this point, you got to be really careful about these ribbon cables, because you don't want to damage anything. So remove these 3 ribbon cables, and the top part of the mixer is, now you want to remove these 2 screws. Remove these 2 screws for these for this strip, so we go ahead and put these on the side. These screws are different as well, and at this point you want to remove the screws from in the back. I have some clips on mine, so let me go ahead and remove these clips, caps, so you got 1 screw on that side that holds that board. So we're gonna go ahead and remove that screw right in the center of the RCAs. You have another screw right in the center of the channel 1 RCA. Then you have 2 screws that hold the mic input. You want to go ahead and remove that. 1 more screw that holds the where the auxiliary input is. You want to go ahead and remove that. 1 screw right there. Then you have another screw right there, 1 and 2 for the mic, and 1 into the auxiliary input. So once we come to this point, you got some more screws inside that need to be removed. So we're gonna go ahead and remove these screws inside. Remove this one. Like I said, that one is shorter than the rest screws, so put that on the side. Now at this point, you want to unplug everything from this board. Your 2 you have a regular wire that need to be plugged out on the side. Now you have your ribbon cables that need to be plugged out. Those 2 center ribbon cable need to be plugged out. Then you have another wire that need to be plugged out. We plug that out. You have a small ribbon cable right there. Just push the clip up and push the cable up, and that should be free to be removed. All right, just be gentle. You don't want to break anything. All right, so once you remove that, now the board is free to be removed from the mixer. At this point, you want to go ahead and desolder these, replace these RCAs if they are broken. I mean, I guess if you're watching this video, your RCAs connectors are broken, or you had a piece that broken inside and you want to go ahead and replace that. Or we can go ahead and replace the complete assembly, the board, this board, you could get it at npcstuff.com. In this video, I'm showing you just how to replace these board, which might be the best thing for you to do. These boards are not super expensive. So at this point, we want to go ahead and put everything back together. We want to put this board. Be gentle at this point. Just line it up properly. Once you line it up, you should be able to get it in there. All right, so once we get that in there, we put 2 screws just to hold it in. We put the screws just to hold it in so we can put everything back together. All the wires back how they're supposed to be. We got that screw there. We got another screw right there that holds the board inside. All right, so let's put all the wires back together. The 2 ribbon cables. Sorry about my camera. I really didn't pick it up, but yeah, these 2 ribbon cables go inside there. Yeah, and now plug that wire back inside. And once we get to this point that everything is plugged in, we want to go ahead and plug this small ribbon cable, push the clip up, make sure the clip is up. Make sure you get the wire inside. Don't bend the wire. Then push the clip down just to hold it in place. Alright, so once we get that done, we want to go ahead and like I said, push this clip down. Once we push that down, once we get the clip down, we want to go in the back of the mixer and put the screws back, all the corresponding screws where they're supposed to be. Alright, yeah. So like I said, we have one screw right in the center of the channel fader, of the RCAs, two on the microphone and one by the auxiliary. Just make sure you put all the corresponding screws. We want to put this strip back together. Alright, once we get that strip back together, it could only go one way, so if you see the tip right there, that's where it's supposed to be. So make sure you put that properly where it belongs, and put the corresponding screw as well, the two small screws that belong there. Alright, so we screw that in. Alright, so now at this point we want to put the top layer of the mixer of the put all the ribbon cable properly inside. You have to insert these cable properly. It cannot be bent. It have to be straight inside how it's supposed to be. If not, you're gonna have problems with your mixer not operating the way it's supposed to operate. So make sure this part of the the job is correct. If not, and also this connector for the crossfader, the wire for the crossfader, make sure you don't leave it inside. Make sure it's up. It should be able to flush right inside with no problem. If you have a problem with your mixer, the top part of the mixer being flush, then double check all the cables inside. Make sure you didn't left anything out. So now at this point, it's just to put everything back together. Put all these screws back together. I'm not gonna do the video too long, so you can watch this video in reverse, and this part of the video you can go ahead and reverse it back and put everything back together in the all the corresponding screws where they belong. Like I said, if you want to go ahead and remove these two RCA connectors, you can go ahead, but it's going to require some good soldering techniques to get that off, desolder and solder back these new RCAs, which is not super hard for somebody that know what they're doing. But if you don't know what you're doing, then it's best for you to go ahead and just buy the board. Like I said, I'm gonna leave the link right below where you can buy this board. And until next time, it's your man DJ Roxy.